Welcome to ABA Inside Track, the podcast that's like reading in your car, but safer. I'm your host and have been for the past 10 years, Robert Perry Cruz.
And I'm your lovable host, Jackie. That is how I used to introduce myself in the first 50 episodes.
Woo! And I'm your other host, Diana.
Actually, in the first episode, I introduced myself as Dr. Jacqueline McDonald. And that's the one and only time that I inserted my professionalism into the podcast.
I mean, I think our first episode technically is titled ABA, The Inside Track, which, I'm glad we did not stick with that. I don't know where that came from. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Wow, 10 years, guys.
This is a podcast about behavior analysis and behavior analytic research, where every week we discuss a relevant topic to the field, unless it is the end of the month, if you are one of our patrons, or at the beginning of the month, if you're listening on the free feed, where we do a preview episode to talk about what's coming up this month, as well as other stuff related to behavior analysis and the podcast. This is the preview for March 2026, which would make this our 10th anniversary month. Hooray! We did it!
We did it! I can't believe it!
Well, that's it, everyone. We're done now. 10 years.
Oh.
No, we're going to keep going because we already started recording this month and into next month. So we got plenty of episodes still to come. But we're going to take a little time this month to celebrate that we have done a podcast and released something related to behavior analysis, whether it's preview or a full-length episode or a special thing, every single week for 10 years.
I want you to know that my favorite preview is always the one where we had the puppets.
That is a great one.
That is my most favorite preview, when we were still upstairs in your dining room and we got out the Muppet puppets, and it was like April or something because we pretended it was raining. Oh, that one literally was my favorite.
We had some good video content. I feel like if we had a bigger team, we probably would have gone into more silly video content, but we don't. So we did not.
Just us.
It takes a lot of time and nobody but us seems to care.
But anyway, I just was, looking back through all of the transcripts and thinking about the past 10 years, and what fun have we had? We've learned a lot. We've had so much fun. And now we have a new website.
That's right. But before we get into all that stuff, let's save that for errata. Let's start off as we always do, because as much as it is an anniversary, it's not just like episode after episode where we talk about how great we are or anything like that. We're going to have typical, awesome, just really topical, heavily research-oriented, great, hilarious discussions, just like we always do. But we should probably let you know what those are in case you want to do some reading ahead of time or just have a sense of, what the citations are going to be. So, you look forward doubly so because it's a topic you totally want to hear ASAP. Diana, what are our episodes for this March?
All right. March 2026?
No, last March.
Well, if you were listening,
Diana.
I know. Well, actually, it is a little bit relevant because if you are a patron, then I'm going to tell you about a book club that will be coming out for you in March 2026.
I think it comes out in February 2026.
Oh, well.
2027.
Well, no. If you're a patron, it comes up.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. If you're a patron, it comes out.
I know, so I'm trying
Sorry.
If you're a patron, then you will be getting a new book club to listen to in March of 2026, The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. Is it Haidt? Yeah, okay. And if you're not a patron, you'll have to wait a whole year to hear about how you are also ruining your children's future. You have to wait until...
Oh, that's a hard sell.
2027.
If you don't want your children to have their lives ruined...
You cannot afford to
join us on Patreon. You can't wait.
I know.
I guess you could read the book on your own, but
No.
Don't you want to know what we think about it?
So that's happening for patrons. For everyone else, we have 3 full episodes that will be coming out in the month of March. The first one is a special guest episode. We have Dr. Kathleen Feeley joining us to talk about Down syndrome and ABA. And there are several articles to inform that conversation. They include addressing challenging behavior in children with Down syndrome, the use of applied behavior analysis for assessment and intervention by Feeley and Jones and published in Down Syndrome Research and Practice, 2006. Also, Strategies for Addressing Challenging Behavior in Young Children with Down Syndrome by Feeley and Jones, published in Down Syndrome Research and Practice, 2008. And Advancing Imitation and Requesting Skills in Toddlers with Down Syndrome by Feeley, Jones, Blackburn, and Bauer, and published in Research and Developmental Disabilities, 2011. After that, we are going to have another special guest episode. We ended up with 2 guests for the month of March, which is very cool. Dr. Casey Clay will be joining us to talk about social preference assessments. And we have 3 articles to discuss here. One of them is Assessing Preference for Social Interactions by Clay, Samaha, Bloom, Bogev, and Boyle. That was in Research and Developmental Disabilities, 2013. Also, A Comparison of Methods for Assessing Preference for Social Interactions by Morris and Vollmer. That was in JABA 2020. And our third one, Jackie has.
I have it. That one is called Assessing Preference for and Reinforcing Efficacy of Components of Social Interaction in Individuals with Autism Spectrum Disorder. That is by Clay, Samaha, and Bogev in Learning and Motivation.
Was that recent?
Oh, 2017. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't do that. So I was like trying to follow what you do. And then I forgot the year.
No, you did great. That was very good. Yes. So that's exciting. And then our last episode is a Just Us episode, and it has an OBM tinge to it. So we're going to be talking about public posting. And did we talk about all 4 of these?
We did, because we're just that great.
Okay, then I'm going to tell you about all 4 of these. It. What's that?
I just got excited about public posting and I put too many in.
That's okay. No worries. I just could not recall. So yeah, 4 to inform us here. They include self-monitoring and public posting, improve competitive youth cyclists, training performance by Evezo and Nave. And that was published in JABA 2024.
Bikers Weekly 2024.
You mean Cyclist Weekly.
Cyclist Week.
Also, evaluating public posting, goal setting, and rewards to increase physical activity in children by Miller, Livingston, Zerger, Valbuena, and Miltonberger. And that was in Behavioral Interventions 2023. Effects on public posting and goal setting on team performance in a residential setting by Perrin, Frederick, and Click. That was in Behavioral Interventions 2016. And finally, a review of public posting of performance feedback in work settings by Nordstrom, Lorenzi, and Hall in Journal of Organizational Behavior Management, 1990.
Wow. I think they also reprinted it in Widgets Quarterly.
All right. And that's the plan. Lots to do and see in the month of March.
Oh, boy. All right.
The Ides of March.
In addition to these episodes and a preview, we usually have a section called Errata, where we talk about everything else that might happen. And 10 years ago, in our first preview, second preview, I actually don't remember which preview we started doing Errata in, we assumed it would be a section of the show where
right away
people would write in and say, here's everything you got wrong. Because I think we did spend the first year of podcasting assuming people were going to tell us, this isn't working, you're not good at this, you messed up my research, I don't like you. And we would read it on the show. That would be fun for us, I guess, and for you to listen to. But most of the time we just get nice emails or people who are saying, hey, I did some research in that area. You know, I'd happy to talk more about it. And we say, yes, please. Because 10 years on, if someone wants to be on our show, we still really appreciate it and love talking to them. So we haven't lost that zeal in 10 years for loving to talk about behavior analysis with other people in the field. So I guess that's one of the great reasons we kind of stuck with this for as long as we have, right?
Yeah, totally. I love the emails that we get from people. I also like it when there have been a few emails that people have told us when we were wrong. And I also appreciate those too, right? Because we, like many, don't know everything. So it is really helpful when someone's like, actually, I need to clarify this. And I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks for teaching me. So just love that.
Well, no one has asked us to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's our 10-year month anniversary episode. So we'll do it if we want. But some people have asked us in various times, and I think we told this story a couple times, but maybe not on the show, where did this podcast come from? So picture this. It's like 2013, 2014. And there was a talk at Babbitt by I believe it was Jim Carr, talking about how to kind of maintain certification in like new and interesting ways, in ways other than just going to conferences, which can be very hard. And one of the things he mentioned was you could set up a journal club and you could become ACE approved by filling out a form. And boy, did that sound exciting to me as someone who likes to read journal articles for fun and would like to have the power of giving people CEs. So I thought, this is great. It's not crazy expensive to become certified. You fill out a form, you pay a fee, and you pay a monthly fee. And I said, I just need to charge people enough to pay that fee so that even if this is a giant disaster, it didn't cost me a lot of money because I wasn't making as much money back in 2013. I've continued to have a job. So, hopefully you've invested wisely. We all invested in AI in our IRA and our 401 in our portfolios, right? So, no,
I'm all about the Bitcoin.
Stocks through the roof. Stocks through the roof.
Are you glad
right
that
now.
we were already married before you started saying things like, I enjoy reading journal articles for fun?
That was part of it. We did that on dates, I think. It was great time. And I thought, this is going to be so easy. I'm going to get tons of people who want to join my journal club because it's like, do you want to pay like almost nothing for a bunch of CEs? Because I can give those to you now for all our participation. And you would think that people would be beating down the door. I can't wait to be in your journal. I'd be stopping. I can't. I got too many people. We were not going to have any fun talking. And it was like pulling teeth to get friends to join my journal club. I would do it at work where people literally just had to like not go home for an hour and they would get CEs. And that was really, really hard. We'd go eventually. I sort of went past work. We go to Panera.
I went to all the Panera ones. Anytime you had a journal club, I came. I was a supportive friend, which is probably why I'm in the podcast.
Yep. And
I came.
You came too, Diana. You sort of had nothing better to do because we didn't have as many kids back then as well. So
Tony would
we
come.
had sometime Tony would come. Oh yeah, Tony would come.
Stash.
Yep.
Stash.
So we had like a crew.
I can't remember now.
It was like a couple of, but it's hard to schedule. And like people were getting to that point in their lives where like their jobs were taking more and more of their time. They had a family that they needed to, except for Jackie, who did not have a full family at that time.
Getting married and that can be your family.
You had dogs.
Yeah, and I had dogs. So
that's true.
I didn't have a child.
Jackie had a family, but not
didn't have a child.
Not exactly the nuclear family in the household at the time. There were dogs.
Yeah.
So now
we're gonna get a ton of errata.
Whatever your family is an awesome family. I'm just saying. I meant the kid taking up time thing. All right.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll be specific. So at the time, I had thought podcasts were cool. I started listening to a bunch of podcasts, and I thought I'll make my own, and it'll be fun. And every week, someone will talk to me about a favorite song they have, and I'm like, everyone loves to talk about themselves and their favorite songs. That'll be fun. And people who came on my show thought it was fun, but not a lot of people wanted to be on my show. So Diana was on my show because she had to be. And Jackie was on the show. And at some point, I want to say it was in that episode, but I have not listened to it in a very long time. I think Jackie brought up the idea of like, we should do the journal club and it'll be a podcast. And then that way people don't have to go anywhere to be in the journal club, which sounded like a cool idea. And it took us a little while. In March 2016, we released the first episode in which we brought those, great tastes of podcast and talking about behavior analysis together. And the only downside is it's really hard for people to be part of the journal club, whenever they feel like it, because that's not how podcasts work. But you can write in. We have listener choice episodes. We have a lot of guests come on. So it's not like you can't come. It's a little different. So that part's a little sad. But 10 years later, we're still doing the show. We still have the same goal, which was people should be excited talking about behavior analysis. If you listen to our episodes and you're like, I just need CEs and you guys are pretty cheap at CEs, that's nice. It certainly has been nice to keep, things like going to our new website not be something that is too expensive for us to do. It's the same business model we had when I first started, which is we need to make enough money that what it costs to make the podcast and host it isn't just money that comes out of like our typical house budget. So as long as we can do that, it's really nice to keep the show going. But really, we want people to listen and say, this is fun. I'm enjoying hearing people talk about this stuff excitedly. Start your own book club, start your own journal clubs. But if you don't want to, or you can't for whatever reason, that's what we really want to be here for. So hopefully people still feel that same zest for behavior analysis when they listen to our show that they get now, 10 years later, as they did back in 2016. So that's the history. That's a little bit where the show came from, and it's still exciting to be here. Does anyone have any like favorite memories, favorite episodes that they want to bring? I know, Jack, you've been reading transcripts because we'll talk about our website in a second, and you've been doing some work with that. And you mentioned some things you thought about some of those early episodes.
I want to say that in the early episodes, listeners have written in and said that we sometimes are off topic. And I agree with you in those early episodes that we are very much off topic. I feel like I could go back and listen to those episodes and like feel like what was happening in my life during that time because we were very candid with what was going on. I do feel like we have taken that feedback, and when reading transcripts from these later episodes, they are they're much more on topic. So thank you, listeners, for that feedback. We took it, even though we're still a little bit off topic, but obviously that wouldn't be fun if we weren't. So
that's the point. We have to be a little off topic, but we can titrate down the off topicness. Right. Yeah,
absolutely.
Dinah will probably share some of her memories on another episode just because she's very sick. So we've done back-to-back recordings. So she's sort of like hanging. She did her part, but she's going to go take a nap. So we'll hear some of Diana's thoughts maybe in the April preview. But I know for me, I've said that this I've also said a bunch of times. I feel like if you listen to early episodes, you could probably start at episode. There's a lot of good early episodes. I don't want to say they're not, but I feel like 26, how to talk to a behavior analyst without really trying. That is sort of where I feel like we just nailed it. Like that, I just still remember, like, we got it. We talked about the articles and had fun, and we did it in a timely fashion. So that I still think of that one as like the one where we sort of like really hit our groove. I still remember some of our early guests. We had one microphone, and we'd have to daisy chain all the headphones together so that we could hear what the guest was saying. We still have that microphone. I'm using it right now. That microphone is still in use. 10 years later, we don't use it all the time, but we use it for some of our remote recordings. It's still trucking along. So thank you, microphone. But yeah, that's 10 years. Wow. What's the secret of still doing it? Just
persistence,
having fun, persistent. The secret is doing it. Yeah. See our Atomic Habits episode. We did all that.
Right.
We have our podcast routines and everything. So, well, that's fun. We're so glad for folks who've been with us for a long time. Just listen to a couple episodes here and there. You know, all of you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. If people didn't ever write or say anything about our podcast, we may have stopped doing it because it is sort of scary to think no one is listening to me. No one is listening to these ideas. Nobody cares. So anytime someone says something nice, even like, I think I've heard of that podcast. We're like, you have? Maybe? Thank you.
That's funny.
And to celebrate, we rushed. We unfortunately had to rush it for some technical difficulties. But when you are hearing this, the new website is up and should be working like 90% of the way we want it to. We're very excited. We had to do a lot of work behind the scenes because the old system broke last minute. So fortunately, we were far enough along that we thought, let's just get the website going and beg everyone to not be mad that the new website isn't 100% there. But it should be almost completely done. I think we still have a few little details that we've been changing based on the feedback people have sent us. So there'll be some tweaks going forward. But you can click your links. Any link you click will take you to the new website. You can find links to the articles. You can purchase CEs. We're making sure you can listen to the episodes. It's a little bit different. Most people we assume would listen in a podcast player, but I know some people have said, I like to listen on YouTube, or I want to just go to one page and all the stuff's there for me. So great. Whatever you want to do, however you want to listen, there you go. It is all on the new website, which is at abainsidetrack.com.
Can I explain some components?
Of course you can, Diana.
So sometimes people have been writing in to say, oh, I already listened to the episode, but now when I order it on the website, it's wanting me to listen again. We just have all of that content there in case people have found their way to the website and not via another podcast player, but you don't have to re-listen to the episode on there. It's just there for you if you want to. If you've already listened, then you can just click the button at the bottom that says complete and continue. It's orange. And it will move you through the module until you get to the end where there will be a quiz with content questions per the new BACB guidelines. And then still code words as well, because we feel that is a useful component of what we have been doing. So you get there at the end, and then you take the quiz, and then if you get it right, it will send you a certificate automatically to the information that you have put in your account to start with. The other thing that we have been doing is because we still feel that dissemination is important and we want people to be able to access the material, we're going through and making it so that there are it's like a free preview of the episode, which will give you access to the audio podcast as well as the transcript. If you click on, I don't know, some button that says try for free, you'll access those parts. If you then want to go back afterwards to get the CE, if you try to click on it again, it's going to tell you you're already enrolled, but you're only enrolled in the free preview part. So to get to the rest of the episode, you are going to go to up in the upper right-hand part. It will say My Dashboard. You're going to click on My Dashboard, and that will then take you to the courses that you're enrolled in. And then from there, you'll see it listed below, and then you can click Resume Course, and then it will give you a prompt if you want to continue with the paid part of the course if you're trying to get a CE for it. So that is like a little confusing. I don't really know why they chose to set it up that way, but anything that you've enrolled in, even in the past, will be in your My Dashboard section of your own personal account on the website. It's all an improvement. It's just different than how it was before.
And if you don't want to go through whatever those steps were, just find your podcast player and say, I want to add a new podcast, and add ABA Inside Track and subscribe. And then they will come straight to your phone, your computer.
Yeah.
And you can listen there. And then when you go to the website and you say, I just want to purchase the CEs, great. Join the course, click, 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 click. Then you put in the key information and the quiz questions.
Sometimes people want transcripts for varied reasons, and don't want to have to pay, and that's fine. So that's now available on most for free. I'm going back through to all of them. So maybe by the time this comes out, I will be done.
Yeah. It was fun to go through.
You can search. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it was fun to go through every episode that we've ever made and update something for the new page. Then realize we didn't update something else, and then go back and do the whole thing again over and over. But Dinah, it's going to free up a lot of time, because now if you have a pre-March 2016 or February 2026 CE, know that it was crafted by hand by Diana. If we're getting a new one, we're sorry. It just 10 years is a long time to do that. So they're just created by computers. They're coming for Diana's job, and they're here.
It's okay. I'm going to do other things. Oh, and related to that, you have to make a new account. That information doesn't transfer over. It's a whole new website. So people are telling me, oh, my password doesn't work anymore, and I'm hitting send me a new password, but you don't have a new password because it's a whole new website. So you have to make a new account. The CEs that you ordered on the old account also did not transfer over. So it's a whole new account. So you need to look back at what you bought in there. And if you can't find that information, then you'll have to ask me.
Yeah. We still have it. It's just didn't transfer over.
Yeah. And then finally, you can search on the new website. So, there's 300 plus courses. So there's a little search bar. If you go to all courses, I believe, up at the top, there will be tabs it'll have like ethics and supervision and ways that you might want to sort them. But then also there's a search bar. If you know the title or the number of the episode that you want, you can type that in there and then it will pop up. Yeah. It's a pretty functional website. Again, it's just different. So people have to get used to it. Mm-hmm. But thank you everyone who's written to me and has been very understanding as we've tried to make sure it's all working properly.
The funny thing is, when we made this podcast originally, we really hadn't thought through some of the things like, how will we do this at scale, or how will we do this long term? So you get to learn these fun lessons as you go. And, I can remember what TV shows I watched while I updated this website. And I'm sure Diana can do the same, and Jackie can do the same. It was a lot of fun, all hands on deck weekends. But it's done, or like almost totally done. So we're very excited. We hope you all enjoy it. It's not a new direction or anything. It's just I think it's a website the way a lot of people seem to have found our show, which is like, oh, it's like an online class. No, it's a podcast where we have the CE thing. But hey, however you want to hear what we're sharing and hear about these articles, you know what? You can do it. It's there. You can't call us on the phone and ask us to do the episode again. I think that's the only one. We don't have that one yet.
But that did happen at one point. Remember
don't
that
call
person that called
Jackie.
me
Oh, yeah.
at like 2 a.m. in the morning? That was awesome.
Should we do some cameos where it's like, oh, if you send us a thing, we'll send you a message about an article that you wanted us to read.
We were going to do that at one point. We had that in our idea thing that we were going to do cameos during COVID, I think. But I don't think anyone would actually buy them. So that's why. But if you would buy a cameo, let me know and we would do them for you. But
Yeah.
we did talk about it.
I mean, honestly, if someone emailed like, hey, my friend like loves your show and could you send a birthday message? I think we'd do that one like right away. So,
for free. Yeah. That would
so
be
the first
so fun.
100 people who send that request, you're going to get a free birthday message from the host of Baby Inside Joke. After that, we might say we're out of time. But
well, that was fun.
No promises.
Thanks, everyone.
What a great year.
Mean, even my own family doesn't want those things from me.
Same.
So
I know.
I would be shocked if someone else did. But
Me too.
Oh, well.
Me too.
Well, I can't believe it's been 10 whole years. We did not expect to do, not because we didn't think we could, but I don't know if anyone's ever started a podcast, but it's hard to get anyone to listen to it at first. And that could be a little disheartening. But 10 years later, we're still going. And it is always very exciting. So, also, we'd be remiss if we did not shout out Behavioral Observations, also celebrating 10 years in Match Korea, whose podcast came out, I think we're a week apart from each other. And if you want to listen to our year in ABA 2025, where we had Matt on, we talk a little bit more about some of our thoughts as we hit these anniversaries and some of our podcast influences. But it's been really nice to just be a part of, to some way, kind of being a part of behavior analysis history, being some of the earliest sort of like ongoing podcasts related to the field. It's not every day you say like, oh yeah, I was one of the pioneers in anything. And to even do it in this kind of, fun, maybe a little silly, but hopefully very helpful way. We're really honored to have done that and excited to keep going. All right. Well, Diana needs some rest and we need to figure out what we're doing for dinner. There's no pairings on these episodes, so we won't know what's coming up. We've got a whole bunch of March coming up. If you feel free to drop us a line if you want to say some happy anniversary wishes, we definitely appreciate that. But otherwise, just enjoy what we've got coming up, content we have coming up. I hope you enjoyed Rob's birthday month last month. I had a lot of fun. And if you didn't, well, it was my birthday, so I don't care that much. Because at the end of the day, we love doing this podcast for you. But at the end of the day, I think we do this podcast kind of mostly because we like to do this podcast. So.
And because Match Corey has not stopped doing his podcast.
Oh, yeah, I know. We're in a terrible spiral. We'll never get to stop until we both agree. Who is going to be the longest running ABA podcast?
We love our listeners. Thank you all for being with us for 10 years. I can't believe it. We couldn't do this without you. We wouldn't keep doing it if we didn't have anyone listening to the show. So thank you
speak
for
for
being
yourself,
there.
Diana.
Yeah, Rob can just talk to an empty room.
I can. It's the talent of mine. All right. Well, everyone, enjoy the rest of March. Happy anniversary, Jackie. Happy anniversary, Diana.
Happy anniversary, Rob and Diana, but not for your wedding.
No, that's not in March. We hope that all you like the new website. Please continue emailing us about that. And we'll be back next week with the beginning of possibly another 10 years. Who knows? Of fun-filled episodes. Until then, keep responding. Bye.
Bye.